hell yeah, look at all those achievements. Damn, 4 achievements and 1 kill.
I've killed Absalom. Stopped the corruption. I stand at last at the Well of Souls.
Oh, the dad?
With no idea what I must do next.
Shit, just thought of that ahead
It
of
is
time.
quite simple, and yet most difficult.
I'm in no humor for riddles, Crowfather.
You may tap the power of the well to return the kingdom of man, or you may resurrect the Nephilim.
Damn it.
But know that choosing one will forever doom the other.
Do I actually have to choose? You know he's gonna choose man.
My brother War. I would protect him above all.
To return man to the earth will require a sacrifice.
Wasn't that the Nephilim sacrifice? Oh, I guess that's what he means. Dooming one to save the other. Oh.
Thus from death came life, and the seeds of humanity were resown. But death's journey was not ended. On the shattered earth, his brother War had slain the destroyer.
You will be hunted. The White City for certain. The Council, and there will be others. You would wage this war
Not
alone?
alone.
No. Not alone.
War had broken the seventh seal, summoning the horsemen of the Apocalypse. And the number of the riders shall ever be 4.
So, wait a minute. So is somebody else become death? Or, Anyway. Alright. So, good game. I enjoyed it. There was definitely some frustrating parts. The camera has some serious issues. The combat was definitely fun overall. I wish they would have made some different design decisions. But for the most part, it was really well done. Definitely a lot better than Darksiders 1. Darksiders 1, one of the weak points was absolutely the combat was very, very weak. But it definitely felt a lot more satisfying. The dodging thing that I ranted on about, I don't know. I just felt like it didn't work well in this game. Because, there's other games that you can't dodge if you're in the middle of specific animations, and that's fine. But in this game, I don't know, it just felt like overly punishing in this game, especially if you, God forbid, decided to pick heavy weapons. Because a lot of times you couldn't properly interrupt the enemy. Sometimes you could interrupt the enemy's attacks, but a lot of times you couldn't. So it felt like a lot of times, once you started attacking at all, if you timed it wrong, which was a lot, especially if there's a lot of enemies, you're going to take hits because now you can't dodge. Even with quick weapons, you're in the middle of an animation. So, but overall, definitely good. Again, the gameplay was good. It definitely has a Zelda feel to it. Obviously a dark and grittier Zelda, despite the kind of cartoony graphics, which I'm actually not a huge fan of. Doesn't look terrible. I've gotten used to it. But I really wish they would have chose a different style than what they did. But again, it's definitely not off-putting enough to the point that it maybe not want to play it or whatever. The story was pretty good. It was interesting with the parts I could remember of it. War was kind of hard, or not War, but Death was kind of hard to identify with because he was like, well, screw everybody except War. So it was like, kind of a douchebag. But even though he was nice to the angels, I don't quite get. Like, he was a total ass to almost everyone except them. Don't quite get that, but whatever. So yeah, storyline for the most part was good. Good enough to keep me playing. Graphic style, as I mentioned, looks good for what it is. But I definitely wish they would have chosen a different style. The sound overall was good. You know, good voice acting. I thought good. War's voice. Damn it, keep calling him War. Death's voice was pretty fitting, and I do like he was kind of snarky. War was definitely no nonsense, no bullshit. Death was a lot more smarmy, except near the end. I think he started to get really pissed off. He's like, I just want this shit to be over, which is definitely understandable. Let's see, what else? Some of the flaws were, as I mentioned multiple times, terrible port. Let's pull that back a bit. It's a bad port. It's just not a good port at all. It's very obvious they spent very, very little time doing the port. There's obvious leftovers from the console still there in the game, and it makes a lot of the controls very annoying. I was able to play it though entirely using mouse and keyboard though. I felt a little hamstrung sometimes during the combat. I felt a lot of times he focused on the wrong enemy, but sometimes that seems more of a programming issue, because sometimes, for example, my weapon would proc and trap an enemy in ice, and then no matter what, I could be pressing nothing, and Death would turn around and start attacking another enemy. Like for some reason you would want to do that just because the enemy's frozen, which is pretty silly. But yeah, the combat was good, the exploration is good. There's tons of stuff to do. If you're a completionist, this game will give you many, many hours. That's the thing too. The campaign was really long. It definitely, if you beat this in 8 hours, you did absolutely no sidetracking whatsoever. You did no side quests. You did nothing but go straight through it as fast as possible. So you had no one to blame but yourself. But the campaign has a very good length. And like I said, there's tons of stuff to find. There's the stones, there's the pages, there's those body parts of that golem I don't think I can find a single one. So there's tons of stuff to do, tons of stuff to explore. The new item system, I quite liked it. At first, I was like, oh, this is really awkward. This doesn't make sense. But it does add a lot. Yes, it doesn't really make sense that you're finding scythes all over the place, but you have to kind of, put that on the back burner and just accept it for what it is. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed the new loot system, even though despite originally not liking it. The other bad things, there was a frequent save system, which was very, very good. But sometimes it just saved at bizarre places. Like, for example, at the end, it saves you outside the boss's room, so you have to run through the corridor, wait for it to load, run through another corridor, wait for the cinematic to start. It's like, why not just save me at least inside that room, so I have to run forward? Why do I have to go through 2 loading times every time that I die? It's kind of silly. The quick travel system was really good for the most part. Sometimes you would tell it to port you somewhere and it would put you in some bizarre area. The mapping system wasn't very good. The maps looked nice, but it was hard to find yourself sometimes. Overall, I would give this game... Oh, here we go with this. Oh, hello.
You are alone, Lilith. Where are my Nephilim?
My prince,
The end war is upon us. Yet instead of the army you promised me, death has returned man to the balance.
I await your punishment.
This time, Lilith, you will get no pleasure from it.
Ooh. Well, she thought she was going to get the good punishment. Except... New Game Plus. Would you like to start a New Game Plus with your current character? So overwrite your save data to complete any remaining side quests, use no, and return to your last save. That's kind of dumb. Why don't you just make a new save? But I'm probably never going to play again, so yes. Let's just see what it does. Okay, it just does this. Alright, we're not actually going to start a new game. I'm not going to play through New Game Plus. Almost certainly not at any point. because I think I've got enough Darksiders. Again, I definitely enjoyed it overall. I would definitely recommend you pick it up. Overall, my score on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 9. However, the bad PC ports automatically gets 1 point deducted. Sorry, guys. That's I don't know. At this day and age, there's absolutely no excuse. No excuse for such a pitiful job of port. So it's an 8. Definitely still a good score, though. I mean, there's nothing to complain about there. I would strongly pick it up on my price scale. And if you're not familiar with it, basically this is the price that I would suggest people pick it up. If you plan to just pretty much play through, you might try to find some of the hidden items, but you're not going to spend a lot of time with it. I would say, you know, $30, $25, $30, which you should be able to find it for easily for that now. So 25 or 30 if you're just going to kind of go through it quickly. If you're the type of person who wants to explore everywhere, get all the side items, go through New Game Plus, do it all again. If you're that type of person who's just a completionist, I'd say you can go up to 40, maybe 50. Probably 40 would be safer. I bought it at full price when it came out, and I definitely do not regret it. Like I say, I enjoyed it. Absolutely pick it up. THQ is unfortunately in bad financial straits, if you have not heard, and unfortunately, the developers of the game, Vigil, have said currently, at least what I've heard, is that they have no plans on making a third one because this one didn't sell that well, which is asinine because it's a really good game. You should absolutely pick it up. So despite my bitching and moaning about some of the fights being a little frustrating, to say the least, or just aspects, excuse me, of being very annoying, you should absolutely pick it up. And if you're one of those people who just does not condone bad PC ports, go ahead and just pick it up on PS3 or 360. It should be just fine on there too. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.